Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the dining room, Matt, Aaron, and Julian are talking. Something's going on. Aren't you reading it a bit too deep? Perhaps you're right. I don't know. They look pretty serious when Miss Drake went over to where they are. Either way, we're bound to find out. Any news, whatever it may be for the matter, spreads like wildfire. Yeah, seems to be the case like that around here. You know what? It really makes me wonder. About what? Why don't my parents send me to boarding school to begin with? Isn't your younger brother in boarding school as well? Yeah, except he's in another country, which I don't know. Meanwhile, in Paris, France at the Bones Cafe, Angela's sitting at the table having lunch. To her sister Isabella came to her table, and a wife, and she saw her. Hey, I see you've been exploring more Paris. I just want to get the feel of the place. Who knows? Maybe Damon and I can move here. If Dad doesn't mind though. Of course he won't. Excuse me? Have you met the man? We all have to spread our wings and fly someday. Meanwhile, at the Goodrum Hotel in Karen and Bradley's suite, Bradley came out of the bathroom to the bed where Karen is, and got in and lay beside his wife. And as she saw him, I just got off the phone with Taya. We're gonna be sponsoring another child. Olivia? Yeah. Hey, her and Wilma are best mates, so it's vital that you don't keep them apart. I know the feeling. And as Karen got the newspaper and saw an article saying Ricky Graham stabbed at the Good Charm Hotel. Honey, what is it? You might want to see this. And as Karen showed Bradley the article on the newspaper which he saw. Meanwhile, in Lucy's room, Lucy's finished packing her stuff. Just as Eric came and saw what she's doing and knocked on her door, which she turned and saw, getting ready to head back. And as Eric came in, we did our best trying to convince them to let us go to boarding school, but in the end, we just keep on trying, yeah? That we will. Well, and as Eric turned and closed the door, and as he turned and faced Lucy, we do have a little more time to, you know. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. And as Eric came to where Lucy is, let the games begin. And as he arrived, just as they begin kissing each other. Meanwhile, in Gwen and Rachel's room, Rachel and Gwen are packing their stuff while talking. Look, I'm sorry you didn't get to see Ricky. Honestly, I'm quite mad at him. Why? I thought Ricky and I were at a good place in our relationship. We even talked about taking it even further. And now that he slept with me, the hell with me? You know that's not true. That man loves you. Does he, Rachel? Then why he disappear like a ghost? I wouldn't put it past our brother having something to do with it. Meanwhile, in Carol and Steve's room, Hannah's comforting Carol in bed while Ryan and Steve are by the TV talking. Do they know who did it? No, but I do have a hunch. I'm just not too sure. You think it was Thomas? I do. In fact, we broke them up a few hours and then I remember him issuing a threat about him ending my son's life. And this happened. Guys, it's not some coincidence. Of course it was Thomas who stabbed him. When I get my hands on him, no! That's exactly what he wants you to do. Meanwhile, in the store's closet, Jan and Thomas are talking while waiting. What? You really think I killed a man? You had a knife in your hands, dude. And as Charles came in and closed the door, which Jan and Thomas saw, How many times must I say this? It was placed in my hands after I was knocked out. He's right. Somebody obviously set him up for this, and I'm guessing it was that squeaky clean family, or it could be that Miles kid. What the hell are you two talking about? Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Parker Academy in the common room, Matt, Aaron, and Julian are talking. Overall, he's safe from the Colin wrath. Yeah, and as the girl came to where they are, and they all saw her. What you boys cackling about? Phoebe, the one and only. Anyways, more people are starting to arrive, so how was the holiday here? You're really not missing anything. I guess you're right. So, who would be safe from the Colin wrath? Meanwhile, on the grand private jet which is on its way to England in the girls' bedroom, Wilma and Olivia are currently sleeping in separate beds. Till Wilma awoken, and turned and saw Olivia still asleep in her bed. And as she got up, and went towards the window and arrived and saw the view. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Buns Cafe, Angela and Isabella are talking. Sometimes I feel fortunate to have the things we do now. Speaking of which, how was your Christmas with Diana? It was great spending time with her and some of the royal family and all. You know, in a strange way, we Grams are also like royalty around here. That's cause we are, which is one of the reasons why I don't want to leave and go back to school in Brooklyn. It could be worse, like boarding school. That is true though. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Angela and Isabella, across from them, a mysterious woman is currently watching them. Meanwhile, at the Goodsham Hotel at Karen and Bradley's suite in the bedroom, Karen and Bradley are sitting in bed talking, while Karen is looking at the article from her husband who's shown it to her. And as she gave the article back to him, that is insane on how that print out so damn fast. Unless someone knew beforehand. A Colin no less. According to the article, a witness discovered a body laid in the pool of blood hidden underneath the bushes. You know there's clearly more to that story. You think someone stashed him there just to be discovered, or I don't know. But I do know a person who might. Let's not jump to conclusions yet till we know fully of what happened. Meanwhile, in Lucy's room, Lucy and Eric are still making out. To Lucy, stop him. What's wrong? How long do we have till we have to go home? I don't know. Couple hours. Why? Look, I know you probably want Lucy. It's fine if you're not ready. No, it's not that. You're worried about the rest of your family, and I know how weird this sounds, not at all. It's understandable. You are so amazing. But we can still make out. And as they continue kissing each other, just as someone knocked on the door, and as they pull away with Lucy coming to get the door and arrive, and it's her brother Vince. Meanwhile, in Gwen and Rachel's room, Rachel and Gwen are talking. No, I know our brother's insane and protecting us, but I don't get is why our parents did a 180 saying that they trust us and come over here unless it was. Remember, they are cops. Not to mention our mom has a degree in psychology. So, they were just testing us. But overall, maybe they were right. Are you saying that you fully regret sleeping with Ricky? Wrong. He and I have been waiting for that moment for a while. I just still have this feeling that he might be in danger. And as someone knocked on the door, and as Rachel in turn went and got the door, and it's Claire, Mom. And as Gwen also saw her mom. I need to tell you both something. Meanwhile, in Carol and Steve's room, Hannah's still comforting Carol in bed while Ryan and Steve are by the TV talking. I feel so sick to my stomach knowing that this could have happened. Oi, nobody could have predicted this. I want some answers. In fact, and as Carol got up, I deserve some answers to why that son of a bitch took my baby. And as someone knocked on the door, I get it. And as Ryan went and got the door, and it's Greg. How are you holding up? Best way we can. Come in. And as Greg came in with Ryan closing the door, and as Hannah, Carol, and Steve saw him, I'm afraid I have some bad news. And as Greg gave Ryan the newspaper and he saw what's printed on the front page. Steve. And as Steve came to where Ryan and Greg is and arrived just as his brother showed him what's on the front page in the article. Meanwhile, in the storage closet, Jan, Charles, and Thomas are talking. Before you came, there's a kid named Miles told us that someone got stabbed. And I think I know who. You really think it's... I don't think when I know. You two lot are talking about Ricky. Yeah. Speaking of which, I've taken care of the knife. Cheers, mate. No problem. Don't celebrate yet. If it was Ricky, they're gonna be pointing the finger at you, guys. Why don't we take this somewhere else? Good call. And as they went and left the storage closet, unbeknownst to them, Miles came out of a hidden area, having heard everything what Jan, Charles, and Thomas said. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Parker cabinet in the common room, Phoebe, Matt, Aaron, and Julian are talking. Let's just try to survive this year. He's right. Who knows what happened? Anything's possible, right? And as another girl came to where they are, and they all saw her. Cindy, what's going on? Wait. You lot don't know what happened? What do you mean by that? It's Ricky. What about him? One of my old sisters told me he was killed last night in Paris. Oh my God. That explains why Miss Drake left with Ashley and John looking very serious. What a way to begin the new year. Meanwhile, on the grand private jet which is on its way to England in the girls' bedroom, Wilma is still staring at the window looking at the view. And as she turned and went to where Olivia's bed is, and unraveled the covers and got in and laid next to Olivia while she's still asleep. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Bunce Cafe, Angela and Isabella are talking. By the way, how's things going between you and Vince? Never better? I could marry that man if I could. Oh, I believe that. Oh my God, what is it? And as Angela spots someone reading the newspaper with the title Ricky Graham Stabbed at Good Chum Hotel on the front page. And as Angela signaled her sister and she turned and saw the article. And as she turned back and faced her sister. Oh my God, does the others at the hotel know about this? We better get there right now. Good call. And as Angela and Isabella in turn got up and got their stuffs and walk away, unaware that the mysterious woman that's been watching them decides to also get up and follow them. Meanwhile, at the Good Chum Hotel in Karen and Bradley's suite in bedroom, Karen and Bradley are sitting in bed talking. Bradley, you know how that family's determined to wipe us out. Yet, we haven't seen them, so we can't be pointing fingers. Look, honey, I know how frustrating this could be. What if that was our boy? I understand what you're getting at, and before you bite me head off, I am not defending that family. Sounds like a hell like you are. Carol and Steve need our support, and they have it. We need to get our kids back home soon as possible and the others to boarding school. Meanwhile, in Lucy's room, Vince came in and closed the door while Lucy went and sat at the foot of the bed by Eric just as Vince came to where they are. Did you see the news of what happened here? What do you mean? Dude, I didn't mean to say this, but your cousin got stabbed. And as Vince got the newspaper and gave it to Eric, which he got, and as he and Lucy saw the article. Who the hell would do this? I don't know. Does Mom and Dad know about this? If they got the papers, I'm gonna say yes, which we both know what that means. Yeah, they probably want us to leave and go back home as soon as possible. Meanwhile, in Gwen and Rachel's room, Claire came in with Rachel closing the door. And as she turned and went to where her sister and mom is. Look, I'm gonna go for a quick walk. No, I want you to hear this as well. Mom, what's going on? It's about Ricky, dear. You know what? I don't know why he suddenly vanished off the face of the earth, Gwen. Why are you looking at me like that, Mom? And as Gwen began to realize, no, Mom, what happened? Ricky was found last night, honey. What do you mean found? I am so sorry. He was stabbed. And as Gwen in turn went to the bathroom and went in and closed the door. I'm gonna check on your younger sister, but I'll be back. And as Claire turned, went and left the room. Meanwhile, in Jan's room, Jan opened the door. And as her, Charles, and Thomas, who came in, with Thomas closing the door, while Jan went and sat at her bed, while Thomas came and stand by the foot of the bed, while Charles came and stand by Thomas, and as they both faced Jan. Okay, what do we do now? I have to get my story straight to where I was. Easy. You were with me. I think it's best not to get involved in this. Dude, not helping. I meant all of us. So far, nobody knows what you did. Plus, there's no evidence for the matter. Have you met that family? They can fabricate any evidence in the blink of an eye, especially when they have money and power. That seems so wrong on so many levels. Really, because having stopped them now has it. and as someone knocked on her door. Jan, it's your mother. Please tell me you're in there. And as Jan looked at Charles and Thomas, who saw her,